What is the point of making a prequel? Prequels to popular stories are often seen as a way to make some easy money or to provide a bit of shameless fan service. But what would the ideal prequel look like? The kind of prequel that doesn't feel like a hollow shell of the original story, but instead enriches that original while telling an engaging and entertaining story of its own. I'm AJ, a filmmaker and storyteller, and today, let's talk about how to do a prequel story right by considering the Disney Plus show Andor. Be warned, spoilers ahead for both seasons of Andor, as well as Rogue One, a Star Wars story. Andor is a bit of a dark horse as far as Star Wars media goes. It's a streaming show prequel for Rogue One, which is itself a prequel to the original Star Wars movie A New Hope. Its announcement was met with little fanfare, especially compared to the other shows Disney was producing at the same time. Few people were as excited about getting a backstory for Cassian Andor as they were to get new stories about Obi-Wan Kenobi or Boba Fett. However, the first season of Andor was surprisingly good. While many of the other Disney Plus Star Wars shows were failing to meet the fans' expectations, this unlooked-for show ended up being a bit of a quiet hit. I remember going into it with pretty low expectations myself, but by the end of the first arc of 3 episodes, I was hooked. Now that the second season is wrapped up, I can confidently state that this is some of, if not the, best Star Wars media Disney has produced. The show is a slow, character-focused pressure cooker that builds the tension higher and higher until it releases in some of the best story moments I've ever seen on television. So how does Andor function so well as a prequel? First of all, it enriches the story of Rogue One by adding to our understanding of the characters. Cassian, the namesake of the show, is really fleshed out in terms of his motivations and history.
We've all done terrible things on behalf of the rebellion.
Other characters from Rogue One, even more minor ones, also get explored. Take Melshi, one of the rebel soldiers leading the battle on Scarif. Instead of being just one more nearly anonymous casualty of Rogue One's final battle, he becomes a daring prison escapee, rebel commando, and close friend of Cassian. Or Mon Mothma, the rebel leader previously best known for her memeable Bothan comments.
Many Bothans died to bring us this information.
Who becomes a shrewd political operator, secretly opposing the rising tide of the Empire's evil, while also trying to hold her disintegrating family together. While many prequels would settle for answering the easy backstory questions, like how a character got their name, their distinctive apparel, or other surface-level things, Andor goes deeper. Why is Cassian so cold, ruthless, and laser-focused on the mission for the first half of Rogue One, right up until he decides not to murder Galen or so? Well, the fact that his mentor, the cold, ruthless, and mission-focused Luthen, had just died only days beforehand, may have had something to do with it. Cassian is trying to live up to being the kind of rebel agent that Luthen was and wanted him to be.
If it goes up in flames,
it will burn very brightly.
But in the end, his humanity comes out on top, as it does so often throughout the show. Why is there not a Cassian and Jyn romance in Rogue One? Because he still loves Bix, and the tragic ending of their story makes his death hit even harder. Why does Cassian not want K2SO to have a weapon? Because he's seen how deadly KX droids, and K2 in particular, can be. And even though he and K2 are friends, he still doesn't entirely trust this brutal killing machine.
Are you with us? No.
Why is Saw Gerrera at his most crazy and paranoid after using his breathing mask? Because he's not getting oxygen from that mask. He's getting high off of starship fuel.
Let it run! Let it run wild!
At their best, prequels give us a greater love for and understanding of the original story's characters. This only works, however, if you actually provide some substantial characterization. Too many prequels stop short and stick to answering simple questions, instead of really fleshing out who these characters are.
who are you?
If you want a prequel that does more than just call back to things you liked in the original, You need well-written, meaningful material that actually adds some substance to the story. This is the other basic element needed for an excellent prequel. Even if you're making the characters more interesting and compelling, you need to tell a good story as well. A prequel that just rehashes the plot beats of the original story is pointless. Introduce new characters, new locations, and new events. Don't stop at expounding on the characters we already know and showing the past events that were mentioned in the original story. Be creative and interesting. Andor does this phenomenally as well. While it does show Cassian's backstory, it introduces lots of new and interesting characters. Cyril, the awkward and uptight Imperial bureaucrat. Marva, the elderly matron determined to fight for freedom however she can. Luthen, the cunning and ruthless rebel spymaster. Dedra, the ladder-climbing Imperial enforcer, and so many others. The show keeps things fresh with the many different genres it explores in the different arcs, from political thrillers, to heists, to prison escapes, to personal dramas. The story of Cassian Andor ties into the overall story of the rebellion against the Empire, and how it gradually grows into what we see in Rogue One and A New Hope. We get to see Cassian's backstory, what drives him and shapes him, while we also get glimpses of the rebellion, going from scattered and distrustful cells into an organized and prepared alliance. We see Mon Mothma progress from a politician content to poke at the Empire from the sidelines while funneling money to the rebels, to a woman who stands up in the Senate and calls out the evil of the Emperor himself.
The monster who will come for us all soon enough is Emperor Palpatine.
We see the Empire's domineering strength, and how it slowly decays from many small acts of defiance and from the way it devours its own. We see the lengths the rebels are willing to go to bring down the Empire, and the sacrifices the fight requires. By the end, Andor has not just given us a deeper understanding of Cassian and some of the other Rogue One cast. It has taken us on a journey that explores the nature of evil, love, and sacrifice. The show ends chronologically, right where Cassian's story in Rogue One begins, and makes that already good film even better with its added weight.
Everything I did for the rebellion.
This is how to do a prequel right.
Are you crying?
What was your favorite moment in Andor? Did it change how you thought about Rogue One or even Star Wars more generally? Let me know down in the comments below, and like and subscribe if you'd like to see more videos like this one. Now, take these lessons from Andor, go out there, and create stories.